What's going on YouTube? I'm back with another video. So I got an announcement for you guys. The re-edited version of my print book is finally available. Well, it's been available, but like I finally got it, physically. I just got it today in the mail like an hour ago. So it looks a little different. It's the same cover, but the reason why it looks a little different because this is the proof copy. So this is why I can't resell. So if I want to sell it back, I can't because it says not for resale. So here's what it looks like. This is it right here. Not for resale. You see, this is my face. You know, yeah, the back is pretty much still the same. This is the original copy of my book right here and right here. So it's pretty much the same book. It just looks a little different because of the not for resale bar on the book. But I just want to do this video just to let you guys know you can, if for those who were disappointed with my book, you can repurchase it again. You get a refund. It's the same book, just edited, reproofed. Or those of you who haven't got my book yet, now you can buy it and read it, and not have a problem with it because it's edited. It's proofread. My cousin proofread it, so at this time I really took time to proofread it because the first one I was kind of rushing. I figured it won't be too many grammar mistakes, and I tried to fix it, but I fixed the mistakes that I didn't want to fix. So that's why I just you know um, released it anyway, knowing that it's gonna have some grammar issues, but hoping that it won't be too much of a hindrance. But it ended up being to a point where, like, even my cousin was saying, "Yeah, I can't read this book. You're gonna have to fix this book." But thankfully, Amazon let me cancel the first book and let me republish it again, so I don't have to totally start from scratch. But I'm proud of this book. I really want this book to sell, and I believe this book's gonna sell well because it's good poetry for one. If you're a fan of poetry, if you like spoken word poetry, you should definitely consider buying this book. And two, it's affordable. It's only $9.99, so it's not too expensive. And it comes from the heart. This is like from the heart. It's not fluff. It's not just me trying to sound pretty. It's not just me trying to sound, you know, fancy and trying to sound like a Harvard educated Harvard grad. Like, I'm just speaking from the heart. I'm speaking the truth, and I'm talking about God. So I can feel like it appeals to, the Christian audience who wants, that Jesus, and their poetry, but also that just that hardcore spoken word, audience who just likes good poetry. No matter what you believe in. I mean, yeah, some poems might offend certain people because I do talk about God a lot in this book, but it won't. But I feel like people who are again, because most spoken word artists are pretty spiritual, so people who have an understanding of God, who have somewhat a knowledge of God, they'll look at this book and says, okay, this brother, he's a man of God. He doesn't curse in his poetry. He's speaking real truth. He talk about what stuff he's going through, and whatnot, and like I could dig this. I could rock with this book. My mom just told me just a few minutes ago how she felt the book was too negative. I was whining too much because there was a lot of poems where I talked about, man, God, I'm stuck. I need your help. I'm praying. God, I'm still waiting. Like, she felt like that was being too negative, and I understand that because I can understand why she felt that way because some poetry I put out are pretty, like raw, so to speak. But but I was trying to explain to her that that my audience is different now. I have grown since my first book. I got people who don't know me. Like, I mean, y'all already know my story. I'm talking about people who don't know, people who just met me like a year or two ago, who didn't know me when I read my first book. People who I met on YouTube. Like, she forgets that that the internet is big now. I have an internet following. I'm not just reaching my family and my church family. I'm reaching people who are in California, who are in Australia, who are in England, who are in other countries. And I'm reaching, and my main target audience is young people, people who are like under 25, under 30, people who because young people like my generation, we want that real talk. We don't look at it as complaining. We look at it just telling our truth. Yeah, I mean, it may come off as negative, but like I'm speaking from my perspective from a Christian. I'm speaking from someone who's going through, because I'm speaking from somebody who's gone through this, but still trusting God. Like that should be enough to where it says, okay, this I could, okay, that could should be enough to encourage people. Like, and because go come by above the lamb and word of our testimony. That's what the Bible says. So, it's not. So I don't feel like it's offensive, but again, I get why certain people might feel like it's too harsh for them because again, I speak from because I speak from the heart. I understand, but some people, but again, not everybody is going to get my poetry first glance. But once this book really sells, and once more people start buying it, then she'll see why I was so raw in that book. She'll understand why. But it's not. I'm not doing this to prove her wrong. I'm not doing this to discredit my mom because she's come from a good place. But I'm just, let you guys know why I wrote the way why I wrote the poems I chose poems I chose. I mean it's not just because I just want to throw something out there. I mean there were some poems I felt like I could have put in the book, but I didn't. Just because I was rushing. But like, for the most part, most of the poems I put in there, I intentionally put in there to let you guys know my journey, to let you guys know what I've gone through, and let you guys know that, you know, even though I'm going through right now, I still trust in God. I know my purpose. I know where God's called me to be. After you read this book, you will see the transformation of my life from when I started writing a book to what happened to like where I am today. So that's my reason of writing a book, of the way I did. So, but again, I don't expect, I don't expect somebody who's, because, again, my mom's older, so she looks at, so, she's part of that, old school Christian generation, an old traditional Christian Pentecostal generation. So she thinks that if it's not happy go lucky, then it's not Christian enough. Whereas my generation, I'm from, you could be my generation, we just want real solutions, real talk, but keep it godly though. Like that's my, generation of Christians. We want that real, but we still want to keep a Christian. Like that's how I was brought up in Christianity. So again, it's gonna be a little bit generation. It's a generational thing, as well. So just my mom being overprotective of me, but I don't mean to again go against my mom because I know you guys are wondering why you keep talking about your mom like that. But I'm just letting you guys. I'm just warning you guys. If you, I mean, the book is not really offensive. Like I don't use curse words in the book and nothing like that. But I know that for some people it might be like, oh my God, really, you really went through that, So I just want this book to reach people as meant to be reached. I want this book to reach young people, and particularly because young people really need to read this book. You know, my generation, we smart. We use the internet all every day of our lives. We know what's up. We don't need the news telling us what to look out for. We already know what's up. We've been talking about sex, talk about drugs, early, so we know what's up. We don't have to. We don't want to be beat over the head over what's good and what's bad and what not to do, what to do. We just want to hear, we just want to see somebody who's doing something positive, but still has a story behind it. We want to know the story, like, and that's because we grew up with social media, so we grew up watching YouTubers, so that's why YouTubers like that's why vlogging is so popular on YouTube because we want to know what you've gone through. You want I mean, yeah. It's great that you have a nice family. Yeah, it's great that you have money. Yeah, it's great that you have a nice car and have a nice house. But we want to know your story, and like that's my whole thing. So anyway, this is Mario Walker signing off.